Nexus is a website that allows you to stress test any business decision before you spend real money, allowing you to run a multi-agent simulation with real market data and adversarial analysis. If this is your first time here, my name is Jay, and this is the Everyday AI channel where we teach you how you can use AI in your daily lives. So we're going to dive right into this here. I'm going to try out this free simulation they've got over here, and we can see a few options in terms of what we can start testing. So we can test a startup launch, a marketing campaign, pricing decision, or we can go into what they've called God mode, where we can ask anything with no templates. I think what I'll do in this case is I'm going to go with this marketing campaign, and I'm going to click continue. Now we just need to describe our decision. So what I'm going to say is we're launching a new AI powered UGC campaign for a health-based e-commerce brand/product. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to select this, and I'm going to use Apple Intelligence, and I'm going to say refine and pad this out a bit more. Now this is built into anyone who has a MacBook that has Apple Intelligence into it. So yeah, I think this is amazing. This has been so wonderful for my workflow. Cool. And now it's just writing this whole thing out. Just going to click update. Now, of course, I normally go through and read everything, and I will just give this a scan just because, yeah, I don't want this to take too long. But as you can see, we've got a full-on sort of marketing campaign here. It's talking about budget, CPAs, ROAS. We can see here we want to be testing hooks, angles, and all that kind of stuff. So a tip is to include specific numbers, budget, pricing point, and target audience size. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, actually going to go back into Apple Intelligence. I'm going to say, update this by adding specific budget, pricing points, target audience size, and yeah, let's go with number of competitors. Cool. So let's see what we get from this. It's going to rewrite it out again. Honestly, it's one of my favorite discoveries. Unfortunately, it's only for people who have Macs, but I'm pretty sure any sort of recent Windows laptops will probably have a similar sort of feature. Cool. So now I'm just going to click on the choose depth, and we can go with the free version, I suppose. So choose simulation depth. So more depth essentially equals more agents debating, more rounds of interaction, and a more reliable conclusion. So now I'm going to launch this simulation and see exactly what we get here. Now, I'm not sure how long this is going to take, but I'll just come back once it's done. I can see here we actually have the option to improve accuracy. So what's our current customer acquisition baseline? If your AI generated creators underperform authenticity checks or face platform policy friction, what's your fallback? Oh, wow. Okay. So very in-depth questions being asked here. In this case, I'm just going to leave it blank, and then I'm going to launch with 0 answers. But of course, you would normally want to provide any more specific information for whatever you're doing. In this case, a marketing campaign. So I'm just going to wait and see what this gives us. Okay, great. So now we can see the review and launch. So they've analyzed the input and found additional context that will make the simulation more realistic. Now we can toggle anything irrelevant, and everything checked will be included. Okay, cool. So we've got a customer segment here, which is of course health conscious people, DTC health brands, and emerging health competitors would be our primary competitors. We've got AI powered UGC. Okay, cool. And we can see here what we've discovered. So higher confidence equals more reliable, and we can remove anything that doesn't apply. Okay, cool. So I can just tick or untick the things here. I think what I'll do is I'll just go for the I'll go for the section that has the least amount of confidence. So I'll just untick this, and conversion rate optimization, I think I'll leave that on. And what we can do now is we can finally launch the simulation and see what we've got. Interested to see what this will look like. So it's connecting to the simulation engine, analyzing input and market data. Okay, well, first of all, this looks very cool, but let's see what sort of output it actually gives us. Okay, cool. I can actually scroll around through this. Let's see what we get. So it's currently initializing and waiting for some agents. I'm going to come back once this is done, and we'll take a look at the output. Okay, great. So now we finally got the results of the simulation, and as you can see here, we've got an interesting interface here. We've got the supportive and positive sort of messages here. So we've got Marcus maintaining my position because production volume and testing velocity here creates a genuine competitive moat. Having scaled 3 health supplements brand to 2 million plus MRR in paid social campaign. Okay, this is interesting. We've got quite a few critical and negative issues, however. So seems like Amara here is saying UGC performance comes from genuine user experiences, not AI simulations, or I guess AI UGC characters in this case, which was essentially the format of the marketing campaign. Cool. And then we've got a sentiment trend here as well. 83% skeptics, 17% adopters. And of course, yeah, this is something I've mentioned before as well. If you're actually looking for genuine sort of user stories, you don't necessarily want to be using AI, right? You want actual people who've actually used a product or service and gained tangible benefit from it. I'm going to click here and view the report and see exactly what we can see here. So
I'm actually pleased to announce I've launched one of my first digital products, which is a 7-day prompting ebook. I've called it Perfecting Prompts, and it's essentially a 7-day crash course on how you can improve your prompting so that you can supercharge your productivity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the link to Perfecting Prompts below. I put in a lot of work into it, and in there I actually include some frameworks that I teach to global corporations. Definitely check it out.
We've got the whole thing here. So we're launching an AI-powered UGC campaign for health-focused e-commerce brand. Okay, cool. So we've got the top risks: undisclosed AI create a compliance gap. Okay, cool. So saying audit 10 sample videos each week against FTC endorsement guides. Of course, that stuff is important. And we've got 90-day actions as well. So build a mandatory hashtag AI generated and sponsored disclosure template into production workflows by the end of week 1. Very important. I mean, ultimately, this is actually a purposeful example of when you don't necessarily want to be using AI, right? One of the first things I always tell people is don't try and force AI into everything. Let's focus on the solution. Or rather focus on the problem primarily, right? And try and figure out the solution. If the solution requires AI, then yeah, let's go for it. But that's not always the case, right? We've got some scenarios here and core findings and potential regulatory shutdowns. So yeah, this is a dominant one. But like I said, this was purposeful, so we can actually see a marketing campaign that should definitely not be AI generated. So yeah, definitely check this platform out if you think it would be useful for you. We can go back to the dashboard, potentially start running some other simulations as well. But definitely check out Nexus if you think this was valuable. And of course, if you're building something you'd like me to take a look, feel free to drop the link down in the comments. Or if you would like me to just take a look at another AI tool that you've seen, then yeah, feel free to share that as well. Thanks a lot for watching and have a great day.